Thanks for joining us on Tandem Radio for a very special segment, By Design, focused on helping you understand how God designed you so that you may be healthy and productive in fulfilling God's purposes in your life for many years to come. Now let's join our host, health expert and public speaker, Dr. James Proodian.
Welcome to the By Design radio program. My name is Dr. James Proodian of Proodian Healthcare and ProodianHealthcare.com, where health literacy is the key to longevity. And as long as God has us on this side of eternity, my show is designed to educate you and your families to feel better, function better, and live as many quality, disease-free years as possible. This show is going to be a topical nutrition show. If you've been keeping pace with me over the last bunch of weeks, we are up to Nutrition 10. This is the 10th week of, like I've been sharing with you, I don't know how many weeks we're going to go on nutrition, but lately there's been a lot of stuff in the news that I'm going to try to tackle today in the time that I have with you with respect to a lot of just crazy stuff going on in the news about soda, Michael Bloomberg, and our nation as a whole, and how we're not just reacting to very important subject matter, but how the show, By Design, is here to create and help you guys make better decisions through God's plan. Remember Luke 1:37, for with God nothing is impossible. The goal with the program is to help identify the things that are causing the chronic illness in our country that are plaguing us: obesity, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, cancer, heart disease. These are things that are preventable, and most of it is as a result of the environment that man has built, not necessarily the environment that God has built. And soda, which we tackled in a few shows ago, that we were talking about soda, now has really come to the public attention. Before I get into that, my last show, I got a phone call from my sister Sharon. I'm the youngest of 4 children, and my sister Sharon is a very bright person. She works at Verizon. She's an engineer, industrial engineer. She has her MBA, and she called me up to tell me how much she enjoyed the show. But you know, as with most siblings, there's always a but. But actually, I listen to Sharon's buts, meaning that if she wants to give me advice, I take it as very good constructive criticism. And you know, it was something that I've been overlooking with you guys. The goal of the show, as Sharon put it, was we need a call to action. She said, you know, to me, she said, describe what your call to action is. And I'm going to say this, and I know I've said it in past shows, guys. The call to action is that we are the solution. The call to action is that we take back our health that we have so woefully given away at the hands of gigantic food companies, our government, and people who frankly don't care about the safety and health of our children or ourselves, or we wouldn't have the chronic illness epidemic that we have in our country. So our call to action is we need to stop admiring these problems. We need to stop looking at, oh, we're drinking too much soda and it's kind of cute and we're going to debate it in civil liberties. It's causing death and dismay throughout our healthcare system. So we are the solution. It's time to take back our health. And remember, big business is designed to make money. I'm not looking to take down big business. I don't think that I want to tell the government to shut down fast food restaurants. What I am saying is that we need to be wise enough to know not to go there. We need to be wise enough to know the difference between a celebration and everyday eating. Hey, I love celebrations too. Christmas and Thanksgiving and upcoming Easter and Resurrection Day, these are celebrations. And as celebrations, to eat and to feast and to have fun with our friends and families, birthday parties and such are wonderful. But if you haven't noticed, in our culture, it seems as though there's a celebration happening daily, if not weekly, in our lives. Whether it's a backyard barbecue or it's a birthday or whatever's going on at the office, every day, you know, thank God it's Friday, every day there seems to be something that we're celebrating, and that's not what the intention is. You know, having celebrations throughout our years and enjoying celebrations is one thing, but our everyday food supply, which go back to the first couple of shows I did on protein, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, minerals, and water, which are the 5 things that God designed us to be consuming, our call to action is to be aware of our surroundings, to be aware of what is actually causing this horrific epidemic, and it's toxic food. So whether you agree with the way Mayor Bloomberg went and discussed large sodas and things like this. That's not for me to discuss with you. Now, you're all big boys and girls out there. My conversation with the country or with you guys is that, well, at least somebody's talking about it. At least somebody's bringing to the attention the fact that, we watch our Super Bowls and our World Series and we watch all of our elite sports heroes endorsing nothing but fast food, sugar, and processed toxin that is toxic to children. Now, as a father of 5, I take that personal. My call to action, according to my sister Sharon, is that I make sure that in my home I am defending my children against this toxic poison. We wouldn't allow arsenic into our home. Well, and arsenic would be something that killed you quickly. When I look at sugary processed foods, I realize it's just something that's going to kill me and my family slowly. And when we look at the cost of chronic illness, nutrition and proper God-made nutrition as opposed to man-made nutrition is the subject matter of high importance. It's high importance to me, it's high importance to the family that I'm raising, and it's high importance to the patients that I treat every day. And in private practice, in clinical nutrition, looking at the way we're consuming foods, many times we're reviewing blood testing or seeing patients in their 40s who already have osteopenia or osteoporosis, patients in their 30s, 20s who are clinically obese, who are right on the cusp of getting type 2 diabetes. This is not acceptable. Not acceptable meaning that we're not going to just chalk that up to genetics causing these problems. These are much more involved than genetics. This is environmental. So many shows ago, I went over with you this, what I call the pyramid of health, and our goal is to get everybody feeling better, functioning better, and living as many quality years as possible. Along that way, the foundational shows, we've done detoxification, we've done stress, we've done epigenetics, we're in the middle of doing inflammation because inflammation is a nutritional marker. And the more processed food we eat, the more inflamed we are, and 90% of the American food budget is spent on processed food. Now, in 1935 or around that time, the average American consumed 15 pounds of table sugar a year. Now we consume 150 pounds of table sugar a year. So when we talk about inflammation, we're talking about certain types of biochemicals called prostaglandins, and there are certain prostaglandins that create this highly inflammatory environment. Now, Time Magazine in 2004 did an entire edition on why inflammation is the primary cause of all illness. So if we start connecting the dots and we realize the food is toxic, so we want to talk about detoxification, our genetics and the expression of our genetics is linked to the toxic environment that we may be living in, which is caused by the inflammation, and that inflammation is directly, and nutrition is directly related to our digestion and the way we're assimilating our foods. Again, going back to those earlier nutrition shows when we were talking about protein, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, minerals, and water. Now, the stress of that food, now I'm not talking about distressed, like, oh, I'm stressed out, my job stinks, or I'm stressed out because, I can't meet a deadline. I'm talking about nutritional stress to our GI system, to our liver, to our pancreas. This is an internal stress that many Americans are dealing with every day. So this is why clinical nutrition is not a named diet plan. I get a kick out of these named diet plans because everybody just wants to lose weight. And I always ask, what are we losing? The body is made up of a number of different things: water, bone, air, fat, muscle. What is it that we're losing? How do you measure that? And so my field is centered around, well, we want to have a starting point, and we want to get to the place where the call of action is implemented. And that call of action is longevity. It's feeling better. It's being around for our children. It's being able to play with our grandchildren on the front lawn. It's being able to walk up and down stairs without having heavy breathing. So this call to action requires a specific plan that's built for the individual, one-on-one. Not 1 on 5,000. Yes, do I think that we should all limit the amount of processed food 2 celebrations or 2 special times of the year, not every day, yes. But the pyramid of health is centered around this call to action of building foundational building blocks for better health, many of which is through nutrition and assimilation and digestion. And realizing that we do live in a sick care system and not a health care system. Let's all just kind of grow up and realize that our sick care system is one where we wait till we get to illness, go to our doctors, and they treat it for the rest of our lives. And Bloomberg was bringing up, here is this substance that we're drinking more and more of. And in 1980 or therearound, when the Japanese basically invented high fructose corn syrup and put that in soda instead of table sugar, now we've got this highly volatile, toxic substance that causes liver damage amongst obesity and type 2 diabetes, that the high fructose corn syrup is not even a natural substance. It was made in a laboratory. This substance is now plugged into all of our processed food and our soda. So Bloomberg was merely pointing out, hey, listen, everybody's complaining about healthcare insurance out there. Well, the cost of healthcare insurance is so high because we have so many sick people. Let's just start somewhere. Let's just start with the understanding that drinking our calories and drinking bad substances, whether it be alcohol, soda, or these high energy drinks, this is big business, multi-billions of dollars. God designed us to drink water. And at the end of the day, we always have to go back to God's design if we're going to take this call to action and look at it from the perspective, like I have said in the past, just because you have the right, R-I-T-E, does not make it right, R-I-G-H-T. Just because you have the right to do something in America doesn't make it right. Consuming these types of products is not right for our human physiology. It's not right for our longevity. And in moderation, yes, and in celebration, times of celebration, okay. But our call to action today is to be wiser, to think through our decision making of the things that we're bringing into our house, to think about our children and our families, so that our goal is to honor God by respecting our physical, our nutritional, and our psychological health. And those 3 components coming together every day, which is called the triad of health. The triad of health and the pyramid of health, which I'd be happy to send you in slides if you want to email me. I keep them on my computer. I look at them every day. They're on my walls in my practice at Natural Healthcare Center. And Proodian Healthcare's philosophy is wrapped around that triad and that pyramid working together. Because when we look at the overall statistics and the epidemiology of the cause of disease, we realize that man is doing a pretty bad job. So whether or not you're for or against Mayor Bloomberg and his decision, and now it's in the court system, I could just say it was nice to hear people talk about reality and our chronic illness epidemic. You've been listening to the By Design radio program. Thank you for joining me, Dr. James Proodian, for this episode. Please go to ProodianHealthcare.com for more information. Have a blessed week, and I'll talk to you next week.
You've been listening to By Design with Dr. James Proodian of Proodian Healthcare. To learn more, visit us at tandemradio.com, that's tandemradio.com, or on Facebook. And don't forget to email us with your questions. We'd love to hear from you. In the meantime, hope you have a healthy week, and we look forward to you joining us next time for more fantastic insights from Dr. James Proodian on By Design, a special production of Tandem Radio.